better than I expected, because I thought it was just going to be kind of like a, not trashy, but I thought it was fictional, and I thought it was just some, rando series that didn't make it on. And then I started watching it, and then I found out that it was based on a podcast, and that made it even more like, holy shit, while you're like watching the show.
Yes. That shit is crazy.
We're live now, by the way, too. I just went into it all smooth.
Oh my goodness!
Yo, people be crazy.
I just figured that, since Jay and Amy were talking, I might want to say that we're live. So, I mean, if it was just like me and Marco and like Shorty, I would have never said anything. We would have just already been halfway through it.
Oh. We've done that so many times.
Yeah. But I just want to let you guys know. But Cobra Kai is what I think we were just talking about, right? On Netflix. Yeah. I finished
More or less, yeah.
You both finished for season 1 and season 2, right?
Okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it a little.
But have you seen all of season 2 yet?
Okay, that's what I wanted to talk about. Because I thought season 1 was really strong, and then I got mid to, and I burned. Finish it. So no, I did not finish it.
Okay. Well,
and I kind of didn't want to finish it because they were ruining it for me.
It's kind of cool if you didn't finish it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm going to trash it.
Okay.
Like, I thought season 1
I don't care.
fantastic.
Spoiler alert. I'll finish it even.
Yeah. So if you have not seen Cobra Kai, I'm not going to do spoilers because I don't want to be that person.
Okay.
And yes, Shorty, I would love help with a mod bot on here if you know how to do it, because I never change it. Right now on Facebook it says we're all playing Sea of Thieves, and I think you
awesome.
too.
Right now I'm about to get that booty.
Gotta get that booted. But season 2, season 1 was awesome. Season 2, it was almost like they said, oh man, season 1 was so good, what do we do now? Here, I have this handful of plot ideas. Let's put some fucking peanut butter on the wall, throw all the plots, and the ones that stick, that's what we're going to use. Because it went so off course. So fast.
The moment Kreese showed up,
I ruined it for me too. I'm like, who cares?
My eyebrow went up like this, and I was like, okay. Now I can understand one of these people living in the 80s for their whole life. Maybe 2. But 3 of these main people in this frickin' story haven't moved on with their life. Like, they've got nothing else in life.
Like, yeah, they got
anyway,
that
I found it just like insufferable a little bit, the whole Kreese thing, and I just was like, oh no, they ruined it.
I agree. I was fine with it at first because I thought it was like, at first it felt like kind of tongue-in-cheek cliche, where it's like, oh, of course they brought him back, but then they kept him the whole season, and that's why I was like,
yeah,
man. Like, had he made an appearance, and then they had their, like, fight, and then it came out that Johnny was better, trying to make a better man of himself, and then he, like, kicked Kreese out, and then they moved on with the plot. But I also wonder how many, like, if I think about other shows that I've watched, first of all, if I think about other shows that I watch, if they don't think that another season is going to happen, is that what happens with the writing?
Yeah.
If they're oh, this is a fun, like, one-off, like, one revisit kind of season, and then they're like, oh shit, we got picked up again, we better hurry up and write this season. And so, like, do they get lazy with their ideas? I don't know.
For me, it was more like the kids back and forth thing. That was overkill. I mean, teenagers are stupid, yes, and they go back and forth like that, yes. But even the dumb ones learn their lesson after a time. Like, these kids were just making the same stupid. It was like a very well choreographed after school special when it came to
with karate.
Yeah. Like, they were doing karate instead of trying a cigarette behind a gas station after school. Like, it was better stuff.
Do you know what happened is
No.
while I was watching it, my mind was wandering, thinking about all of the amazing things they could have done with that first season, you know, because it was such a lovely place, that ultimate redemption story of the bully. After all these years, all of us have thought that he was the biggest asshole in all of 80s movies fame, right? All of us did. And then we see this season where it's like, oh my gosh, he actually has a legitimate side of the story. Yeah. And it turns out,
I thought that was genius.
That New Jersey fellow was kind of a jerk coming in on his girl, you know? Right. Like you hear the story later and you're like, oh my gosh, it's such a redemption story. But I don't know, that second season, they didn't know what they had. That's what I think happened. They didn't actually know what they had. It was a bunch of nostalgic nerds that got together, and they didn't realize what a pot of gold they had uncovered. And they wrote it into a carnival act. And it's a shame. It reminds me of Star Wars. I'm sorry to make everything but it reminds me of how strong that story started and how flippin' cray and nonsensical it went and how amazing it could have been, you know?
Doesn't it make you realize on how much things... It's just a perfect example of plots and writing on how much better things were in the 80s and early 90s.
Like, I also think that was part of...
But
I kind of think that was part of the issue, because we're watching this now as adults, and so the stuff, like, I remember the first time I saw Karate Kid, and granted it was a movie and not a series, but that stuff was like cutting edge at the time for ideas because we were kids, and so now we're watching this as adults going, oh God, this is so predictable, you know? And I've loved it. Like, I liked the second season, even though I agree with everything the guys are saying. But watching it at this age, like, I don't remember the last time I saw Karate Kid the movie, but I want to go back and watch it to see if I'm not like, ugh, you know? Whereas when I watched it as a kid, it was like the coolest ever, you know?
After I watched the first season, I went back and watched Karate Kid 1 and 2, which are the only ones I really ever remember in my childhood. Do you remember the honk of Karate Kid 2?
Yeah.
My brother and I have a whole thing about that. My brother and I, to this day, honk each other's nose because of that. So Karate Kid was like a huge part of my childhood. And so I went back and watched 1 and 2 after Cobra, but I have such a fondness in my heart that I continue to see the charm in it. The charming, simple story of a kind of father-son-ish relationship, you know, really sweet.
Sure. Yeah.
But the second one starts going off the deep end, and that's when you know, oh gosh, it's always either it's amazing, it's a really rare moment when it's an amazing sequel. I think like Gremlins. You know what I mean?
Call.
Tremors.
I
feel like that's a solid sequel.
That was a good solid
There's some
sequel.
solid sequels in the world, but for the most part, sequels are a little bit sad. The second season felt like a sequel.
I loved the soundtrack to it, though. It had a good soundtrack. Like, it was a good, strong 80s soundtrack, and it matched the movie, too.
The first season, the second season didn't have a song.
Yeah,
that was the first thing I noticed was the music being bad. I forgave all the cheesiness because I knew too much about the making of the show because my roommate worked on it. But I noticed it right away. I was just like, man, they couldn't. You can tell the budget cuts were there because they couldn't afford the licensing for the 80s music that they had in the first season. And it was just kind of like this Apple Loops, whatever, you know, the free kind of music library that they give you. And I was like, oh no, they're using the Chase Scene MP3 that I got for free.
Chase Scene number 7.
Yeah, Chase Scene number 7. Yeah, exciting explosions. Oh, cool. Yeah, look at that. But,
I had to go look the other night.
I don't remember. Oh, go ahead.
No, you please.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know how it was for you guys in high school, but all of the house parties that I went to that broke out into karate fights happened all the time.
All the time.
And my friends, all the time. karate fights. You know,
It did get the clicks
beefs.
right. Like I thought it was a really cool thing that they actually like included the little kids from each dojo.
Mm-hmm.
Like the little tiny blonde kid and then the little brunette kid that went to the party and were holding 40s. And then just started fighting each other.
Oh yeah, I remember that scene. That was the bonus episode of the children fighting.
That was
Children.
That was dumb. But I had to go and I did some research on season 1 because it had the one Cyndi Lauper song that was in the original Karate Kid that was also in Goonies, and I started to think like how much did Cyndi Lauper make
Time After Time?
off of those movies? Huh?
Which song? Time After Time?
No, well that was in a bunch of them, but I don't remember the name of it. What is it? Good love for you. I can't sing like Cyndi Lauper. But
you mean the Goonies song that she sang?
Yeah, which song is it?
But that was for the Goonies. They didn't use that one in Karate Kid.
that was in the first Karate
The
Kid.
Goonies are good enough. You talking about the Goonies song?
No, what
The
is
Cyndi Lauper
it? Let me
Goonies song?
see.
What is it?
I'm
this
looking
is.
it up.
Oh my god!
Goonies
Is it
are
True
good
Colors?
enough.
I feel like you threw this so wildly out into the dark.
Yeah, he did.
I'm
What's
going
the,
through like my Cyndi Lauper decks.
I know. I need to know my Cyndi Lauper song.
That's
Shebop.
Same.
Shebop.
See, I know what I'm talking about.
I don't think
Oh, it is
so.
It's
the
either
Goonies
True
song.
Colors-
True
True
Colors.
Colors or Time
It
After
is the
Time.
Goonies
Those
song.
are
It
the
is the
ones.
Goonies song. The Goonies are good
I
enough.
told
I just
you.
thought it was called Good Enough.
I was singing it for you.
I didn't
Did
hear
not
you.
Realize how
I didn't
much.
hear you singing it. I didn't know the word Goonies was in it. You know me and lyrics.
I said,
don't
hey,
care. I pick a couple syllables and I stick with it. I don't listen to the whole words.
Right, the song that she wrote for the Goonies specifically, where it says "Goonies are good enough."
Okay, so it's another Cyndi Lauper song.
It's the chorus.
Either way, my point is, I can't find that article. I was looking for it, but Cyndi Lauper made 40% of her $50 million wealth off of 80 movie royalties, of having theme songs in 80s movies. And she is worth $50 million according to celebrity.worth.com. So, I don't know. That's what I come out of things. I'm like, how much did this person make for that?
That the Goonies theme was in Karate Kid.
You know, why do you always have to, like, you got it, you won, you were right, but you have to drive it home?
Because you don't listen to me beforehand, and I'm telling you what you're looking for, and you're like, I gotta find this. You mean this song? No, I gotta find it. It's somewhere here. You mean this right here? Oh, it was right here this whole time.
But I didn't
Like, yeah,
know the
man.
song had the word Goonies in it. So when you were singing Goonies, it
I was
didn't
telling
sound
you.
like the song. So how would I? You act like
'Cause you
you
weren't
sing a
listening to
perfect
me.
pitch, perfect
I said
lyrics.
Goonies are good. Yeah. And then I kept saying Goonies.
My point exactly.
I'll sing it.
I want to know how much effort they make when a scene that they were in is inserted into, for example, a series. So all of the like scenes that they took from Karate Kid and inserted into this series,
Right.
do those actors make money off of those? Is it the same thing as like royalties, like with music? Is that a thing?
Yeah. How do they do that? You're so right, because there's all those flashbacks.
Yeah, did
So do they
Miyagi's
have
kids
to
get money?
obtain the rights to that? Do they pay a flat fee for it? I wonder how it works.
That's definitely depending on. Usually that only happens with like the, and I could be wrong, but from what I know, it's just the top actors with the deal that they have whatever they're filming, television or a film. Most actors don't get back end deals, meaning that if it plays more and more and more, that it's just like a flat rate kind of thing. Yeah, especially back then. You know, now it's more built in because of streaming and a lot of kind of
Right.
awareness of that. So there is a lot more back end deals now. Ooh, that sounds dirty, but yeah. But, yeah.
It didn't until you said it sounded
But yeah,
dirty.
but it's
Now it's
I
filthy.
know. It's so
If we know where
filthy.
your mind is,
You heard
none
me
of
then,
us
Billy.
would have
You
thought of
heard me then. But yeah, I think more of the residual stuff plays now with more current stuff because because there's so many distributors and production companies now, they can't afford the front end deals as much anymore. So now they have to give more of a percentage to lure those top name actors to their projects. Because they know they're like, oh,
That makes sense.
yeah. But
Can I just say one more thing about Cobra Kai? Just one more thing.
Please.
You can say many things.
I loved the first season that it was really focused on Johnny, and then the second season it was like not. And I think that was the big mistake is that they lost the focus. They lost the focus of the hero who was actually the anti-hero, in the previous life. So it was such a loss. That was such a loss. Okay, but that's all I wanted to say.
Was I the only one that wanted Daniel LaRusso to be just a complete asshole?
He kind of was, though. If you think about it, he's running this fucking car dealership. You know what I mean? Being such a fucking schmuck.
What? I mean,
You know what I mean?
I'll
Like,
kill
think
that
about
shit.
how annoying his kids are. Look at his kids. He's got kids like Tony Soprano, except for they're like LaRusso kids. They're such brats, I mean, karate chopping up the high school, the top one, the daughter.
Right.
The son is just always on his phone. You know what I mean? He's the worst. He's the worst kind of kid.
Oh, he's the worst character in the whole series.
I kind of like him.
Exactly. So it's like, I actually think Daniel LaRusso ended up, and Johnny Lawrence is the hero, and it's just such a shame.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed when Kreese just kind of stuck around. And you saw it coming. You saw the last episode coming. Like, you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, you knew it was going to fucking happen with the Kreese in the studio, not with the kid.
I love the kids. I love that kid, Miguel. I think he's great. I think he's a great actor, whatever that boy's actor's name is. I think he's so perfect.
That was the one thing that made I read the script before they started filming it, and what made me like the show a lot was the dynamic between Johnny and Miguel.
Yes, that was the best.
That was the heart. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the best. The best stuff was between those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also appreciated that instead of they could have just done. I appreciated that they made it a Latino family, and that the grandma is like this badass. I liked that whole family dynamic, and then also the dynamic with Johnny, because I feel like it's what they should have done in the first place in the movie that I love so much. But I don't know. I think it was well placed for this time period, especially.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think? How much do you think Elizabeth Shue's agent is demanding for her to show her beautiful face?
I hope so.
For season 3, right? Could you imagine that?
It teased it.
The Elizabeth Shue coup?
It teased it.
Yeah. So I feel like I saw some tease that I didn't read through as to why she was not on the show in the first place. But now I can't remember what it was. But it was maybe she had something else going on at the time,
She's
which
on
is
The
weird
Boys.
because I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
She's great in The
Oh.
Boys.
She's great. Yeah, she's great.
That's a show. That's probably my favorite show that I've seen in a while.
Okay.
I went into with very, very low expectations, and as each episode has come out, because I think they're on episode 4 right now.
For what?
Of
They
season
didn't
2?
of season 2. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about
Yeah,
The
they're
Boys,
releasing
right?
it weekly. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
Boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen season 2 yet. I haven't finished season 1. I need to.
Oh, finish it, man. It gets the after the kind of expository episodes.
Yeah.
The first half, it starts getting fun, and then really dealing with different dynamics of the issue of if people did have powers in this world, you know, how society would react to them or how they would treat it,
really be.
you know?
If you had
And then-
unlimited
and then-
power, what you would really be like? You'd be
Correct.
a real jerk.
Yeah,
if
it'd
you
be
had
horrible.
unlimited power.
I'd be like
right.
Horrible,
crushing
horrible.
everything.
Yeah. And everyone would be terrified of you.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it
so
gets
let me
way
tell you,
more
can I
into
tell
that,
you,
yeah.
Marco, I love this show. But on principle, I'm waiting until all of the episodes are released. Because I don't like
yeah,
this.
that's fair.
I don't like this weekly stuff. That was had time slots on TV. And we're post TV.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it's
You
cruel.
got spoiled.
So on principle, I'm waiting.
You got spoiled on whole
wait.
season
There's
releases.
plenty of stuff to watch. But on principle, if I want to marathon something, they don't have the right to drip feed me my story. My story.
I know. Yeah.
You hear that,
don't
Amazon
like
Prime?
it.
Let me binge. Let me binge.
Let me binge in peace without your judgment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, it's you have a valid point in the sense that people now how they view are so used to that, you know. So trying to go back to an old format is very
Why
jarring.
would you?
And
Why would you? I mean, my gosh, why?
Mhm.
Like, would I mail you an old-fashioned letter right now, Marco? Unless I was trying
I
to.
would love it. I would put it on the fridge.
I
if you
write
did.
letters. I straight up write letters. I will write a letter. I will write
Okay,
you a
all
letter.
right, okay.
I'll write
All
a
right.
letter.
Okay, all right. Would you chisel it out of stone?
I'll
You know
get
what I
one
mean? Let me
of
make my
Shorty's many fucking fountain pens that he's
John-
put together, his quill and ink that he collects, all off of his old man
Beautiful
dresser.
calligraphy, perfect
Yeah.
calligraphy.
No, I don't have that. It seriously
Oh.
looks like a kid sneezed ink on the paper. Like, I have horrible handwriting, but I will write a letter. I'll write you
All
one.
right.
Off of the
All
news
right,
you told me tonight, I will write how I felt.
Dear
about that.
Penthouse.
Dear Penthouse.
All right, but I don't want to go back in time on this then, all right? Okay? I don't want to trade in my washing machine for a scrub board in a river. And that's what I feel like is happening with drip feeding my marathon episodes.
Just
to me,
that
and I
one.
really don't appreciate it.
Because it's streaming
And
service.
But you know the
Amazon.
music. You know all the music
Just stand there and crank it.
with that washboard. All those jams that I can do with that washboard.
He'd be the guy at the party
Well, let
that
me-
pulls out the washboard.
I'm gonna be the guy. Yeah, I'll pull out the washboard at the high school party. I'm like, hey, here we go. Remember this one? Hell. Someone grab that,
You always have
that
something.
broomstick base. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, I feel you. I get it.
Okay. So
I
it's my
get
own
you.
protest. It's
No. I completely I empathize and I agree with you. The only thing that I enjoy of the weekly release is that you're able to ingest the story a little better and appreciate maybe an episode or the writing a lot more. Then when you binge it, it seems like everything kind of bleeds into each other. But we're past that, like, ooh, this one episode
Yeah.
can
stand
on its
around
own.
and talk
'Cause
about
everything-
it at the water cooler. Yeah, we're past
right,
all
because
that.
we're past that because everything's more serialized than it is contained within an episode.
Yeah, also,
So, yeah.
it's just really nice to look forward to something on TV because everything is such quick access. Like, it's nice to look. We're watching, what is it, Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus. It was Jason Sudeikis. I can't remember the other. He's a football coach from America that goes and coaches a professional UK football team, which is soccer. And it's hilarious, but it's every Friday night at 8. They release a 30-minute episode, and it gives me something to look forward to like sit down and watch.
American football to soccer or soccer to soccer?
American
Coach.
football to soccer.
I got you.
Yeah,
Weird.
it's not a bad show. Like it's
Interesting.
funny because Jason Sudeikis.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. But it gives me something to look forward to. Like Mandalorian, I was so pissed when they released that episode by episode, one a week. I was so pissed. I was right there with you. I was like, this is bullshit. And then like it gave me something to look forward to every week, and I was like watching it with everybody. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, we're getting things cool. I guess it's also different too because I have to look for 30 minutes to occupy children, and any 30 minutes will do, like, no matter what it is. So, I mean, I kind of look at it differently, I think, but I get it.
I think I totally binge everything. You know, I watched a season. I restarted Handmaid's Tale today for some reason. I think it like auto played after something else, but I kind of like it when shows only release one at a time because it reminds me to be patient in this world where everything is instant gratification. And I'm not trying to sound like altruistic about it, but like I need that reminder sometimes because I remember when I was a kid, one of the stories that like my parents told me when the next episode of Mr. Rogers wasn't on when I wanted it on, I used to lose my mind then as a 4-year-old, and fast forward to almost being 40 and I'm still doing the same thing where I'm like, what? It's not on now? This is BS. You know. So it's like, it's almost like when they release one at a time, it's my mom going, Amy, this isn't, this is like, just calm down and maybe go for a walk.
I still lose my shit when Mr. Rogers doesn't come on. I do.
Yes.
See, I see it like we're all in a mental ward and we're all getting daily doses of medicine, and I'm stashing mine under the mattress right now, and I'm going to take them all at once and totally trip balls. And I'll tell you guys all about it.
Hell yeah.
So that's how I like to watch my TVs. I stuff it under my mattress like a freak.
I just want a natural ball trip.
I need you to lift I need you to lift your tongue for me, please.
And it's the remote. It falls out.
Ah, oh, here we go. Ah.
Yeah, I swear I didn't know that was there.
I don't know what
I'm
to
holding
watch
it
now.
for a friend.
Now that Cobra Kai is gone, I really don't know what to watch. I can finish up The Watchmen. I started doing that today.
I enjoyed The Watchmen.
I watched
Watchmen's really good.
I think I'm on the last
enjoyed that.
episode of season 1.
Did they have another season of it?
Not yet. I think they're going to.
That's, you know what? That's it ties into what you said earlier. That was a season that they completely wrote intentionally to be just a miniseries, but because of the popularity of it, that's what the trouble is they're trying to write a second season to something that kind of tied itself up really, really well.
Well,
it's just, yeah.
Then good that they're taking their time.
Yeah.
You know?
Like Walking Dead was that way. Like Walking Dead was supposed to be done after like season 6 or 7. And now they're doing season 11.
I don't remember when I stopped watching. Oh God, really?
It's so much hard to keep up. It's so much to keep up with now. Like I still watch it, but it's one of those things like I'll watch and then I'll pick up my Switch and start playing a game while it's on in the background. Like I couldn't tell you what happened last season. Like I have no idea. After they killed little Carl, I ain't give a fuck.
I left a long time before that.
Right. I feel like I'm gonna make enemies when I say this, but I started watching Game of Thrones when it first started.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about Game of Thrones as I did Walking Dead. When I started watching these shows, I was like, both fresh ideas. I mean, okay, so the zombie thing's kind of been done, but I liked how they did it, and I thought like I really liked both shows. And then like
the one thing
started progressing.
Then you're done?
Oh no, I was just gonna say the one thing with the Walking Dead show, why it keeps going, is the comics really just ended last year. The comic book itself.
Well, this past year was this past season was the second season without the comics.
But the comics still. What I'm saying is the storylines of the comics still ran.
I was curious.
Last year it ended. Yeah,
I was curious about.
So they have
parallel.
so much to mine from. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was curious about the parallel between Game of Thrones, what you were saying about Game of Thrones and Walking Dead.
Yeah.
The only parallel for me is personal in that I reached a point where I felt like the storyline started being not
Silly.
predictable, but I was just like, what are they doing this time? But like in an eye-rolly way.
Right,
And so, I mean, it's just a personal thing. I don't actually compare the shows in any way.
Gotcha. But you had a moment of like, go with like the guy with the tiger or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I felt
that's
that
when
Game of Thrones like that was with me too. Game of Thrones I loved, but it was like the storyline was a roller coaster of if I gave a shit or not.
I guess maybe that too. You know, a lot of what I watch in entirety is like shit that I can put on, and I'm cooking and doing stuff, and I'm not having to be glued. So I guess one parallel is that they both have cult followings that have lasted through, you know, the entire series, and you're prone to insult someone when you're like, I got tired of it. Like I said that about Game of Thrones in a bar once that had where I was just like, oh, I got kind of tired of it. And I said it just super, you know, in passing. I was like, I got tired of it. And they were like, what? Why? How? And I was like,
oh no, I wouldn't. I consider myself a pretty big Game of Thrones fan. And I would 100% agree with you. I'm like, yo, I'm just sticking through it just because of some storylines that I want to see play out. But I completely understand where you're coming from, because even me watching it or when I was reading it, I was rolling my eyes. I'm like, I can't count how many times in the book series that there's a paragraph or two of just what these motherfuckers are eating. To the point where there's an actual cookbook. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. I'm like, yo, let's get on with it. Like Tyrion sits down in front of a healthy bouquet of freshly baked bread and crispy burnt black bacon and a full. I'm like, yo, just tell me what he's about to say. I don't need you to tell me his whole breakfast. Like, but it's a lot. Like, it's the double-edged sword to his writing is that it's so detailed. So sometimes it slows down the narrative as you're like, oh my god, I just want to go. But he builds such a specific world, and you do get sucked into it because you're like, oh dude, I can taste that burnt bacon. No.
Sure. So forgive me for this. Was Game of Thrones that was just a novel series, right? Not graphic novel. It wasn't comic book based in any way.
No.
Yeah, just
it was just a novel.
Yeah, a bunch of books.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want that kind of, but if you've already started watching the series, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's probably the biggest critique that I have, and probably the only critique of the book series is the details. Sometimes it's a little too much, but overall, I really dug his writing. I like the point of view. I guess a lot of the stuff in the show why I didn't translate well is because each chapter is a different character's point of view. So as an audience or as a reader, you may know a family secret or a trade secret, but the character doesn't know, and you're looking through their perspective, and they're like, hey, I saw this tall, handsome knight that's blonde haired, and they're just describing the character, but you don't know who it is, but the reader can put two and two together and be like, oh, that's fucking Jaime Lannister. But this guy doesn't know or has never met Jaime. Or
I knew immediately it was Jaime that you were
exactly.
I knew immediately.
Right. So as a reader, you get it. And so that's kind of what I think a lot of the fandoms of the readers dug about the series. But he then, just like Cobra Kai season 2, he starts getting into more details of secondary and third and what is it, thirdary? I don't even know what the word is. Other characters that aren't the main ones. And it loses a lot of readers that way. in the sense
And
of
those
like,
are
oh man, we got to go back to the bread baker. I'm gonna go read a whole chapter about the bread baker just to get one,
just one
nugget of
answer to
information.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like get me back to all these other characters. Yeah, he's notoriously kind of known for kind of writing himself into a wall as to what to do with the characters, because he doesn't, with so many different storylines and all that kind of stuff. I immediately saw the shift in quality of the show early on, and it was the way they handled one of my favorite characters, which is Littlefinger. Is the way they kind of ended up with how he. Yeah. Once I saw that they were doing with him, I'm like, this guy ain't no punk. He's the wittiest, smartest guy out there, and he's gonna let these certain he's not gonna see if he's a chess player. He went from being Bobby Fischer to me
and Billy Rain
playing chess. Billy Rain playing chess.
I have
Exactly.
no idea how to play chess. None. I have no idea.
There you go. So yeah,
a 12-year-old's been asking me to play with him, but he's won like first and second place medals here in New Hanover County playing chess. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna let him see that I'm that stupid. There's no way. Like, that is the kryptonite, chess, for me to be able to give up the whole jig of being an intelligent person, because he'll know immediately.
You know who's really good at chess? Byron.
Who?
Byron.
Oh yeah,
Byron.
Downtown Byron.
Yes. He used to come into the soapbox and play chess and was really, really good at it. And I like to remember that when I see him stumbling around.
Like, man, you know what? He smells like piss, but that motherfucker was good at chess.
He's good at chess, but but what I mean is, like, he's got a poker face. You know what I'm saying? He is fooling everyone.
Oh, no.
Unrelated.
I've always loved that dude.
Yeah.
You guys, I had two more topics as far as entertainment is concerned.
Please do.
There was a recommendation I was going to make if you guys haven't seen it. I think it's worth watching, and it's The Umbrella Academy. Have you guys watched it?
I love it.
Love it. Okay. Yep. Anybody else? Umbrella Academy.
It's so
worth
good.
checking out.
I haven't seen the second season yet.
Oh, dude.
But
it's badass.
It's good.
But I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there was a guilty pleasure that came to an end that I wanted to see if anybody was watching, and it was Shield Agents. Did you guys ever watch Agents of Shield? Anybody ever watch that?
Oh no, I did, but I was
season and a half, I think, and then sporadically. My roommate watched every single fucking episode of that.
Me too.
So
oh my god, I love it. Me too. Every fucking episode.
And I would come in and just try to play catch up because the storylines and the stuff that they did.
Oh, now they're in outer space? Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, they're back in time now? Wait, what happened to his girlfriend?
Now they're in another dimension. Now they're on a sand planet? All right.
Yes. Wait, they're stuck on the moon? How did they get on the moon? They have no oxygen?
Don't ask.
I'm like, what?
Go with it. Yeah.
Did you ever check out Lost in Space on Netflix?
I saw the first season.
Second season was good too. Second season was really good. I actually enjoyed the second season more than I did the first season. It was in here. I'm a big sci-fi nerd, so I'm really good with anything sci-fi. But I can tell one show that I will absolutely watch, and I hate the people that work it, and I can't think the name of it, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up right now. The home show, the home improvement show where it's the man and the wife in Texas.
Fixer Upper?
Yeah, Fixer Upper. I think I've watched every single episode of that on Hulu. Fixer Upper. Like, I don't like the people that do the show. They get on my nerves. They're too happy. There's no way that they're that happy. I love it when I see a tabloid saying that they're miserable. I'm like, I fucking knew it. I knew it. Like, it makes me feel good. But the show is great on how they find these homes and renovate them for these people. Like, it makes the people happy, and it makes me happy. So
have you gotten further down the rabbit hole and watched other of those home improvement shows? There's so many of them.
There's the one.
There's tons of them.
I
There's so many of those fucking things.
There's one that used to be on PBS, and it was this guy. He went cool. Like every time that he would say, "All right, let's go over here. What I'm gonna do is take these or I-beams gonna drop around here. Man, it's gonna be great, man. Here we're gonna have cool." And that was his thing. And
Bob Vila? You're talking about Bob Vila?
No, not Bob Vila. I'm talking about his other guy. I can't remember. No,
yeah,
that was This Old House. Was Bob Vila?
Yeah.
What was I?
Was he a carpenter? He was just a carpenter, though.
It looked like he was
like,
yeah. It didn't look like he was the foreman or anything. That's for sure.
Because I remember a PBS show where it was a carpentry show, and it was kind of a good old country boy.
That could have
and
been.
He always
him.
had the overalls on. I think that's what it is.
People in my
but
town
I feel like he was like
show.
the most chill guy in the world. The guy you're talking about, Marco.
Talking about
Bob Vila was chill as shit.
Bob
no,
Vila.
I'm not talking
No,
about Bob
I think.
Vila.
Oh, which guy?
The carpenter guy that you're talking about. I feel like you're talking about what's his name with the glasses, but not Bob Vila.
Oh, not Bob Vila.
No. Oh gosh.
Yeah,
I'm
thinking of the carpenter guy.
You
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Jay knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same character that Billy. I don't remember Keat or Woo guy on PBS.
Norm Abram. That's your guy.
Norm Abrams. That's my guy. That's my guy.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Hell yeah.
All I could think.
Yeah.
All I could think of was Bob Ross, and I was like, nope, wrong guy on TV doing the wrong craft. I'm way off. Wrong hairdo.
Mm-hmm. Chill demeanor. You were right on that. And PBS.
Norm Abram.
Norm Abram.
See, this isn't the guy either. But
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're thinking of.
I'm trying to look him up. I'm trying to look him up. Yeah, I gotta figure it out because now it's gonna drive me crazy until I do. 80s home improvement shows.
Tool Time?
I've seen.
Oh no, that's 90s.
I bet you that's all it's gonna bring up.
That show is ridiculous.
That's Al Borland. That's Al Borland himself. That show is ridiculous.
Yes.
Looking back at it, and I did rewatch one. I was like, why did I even like the show? No,
I feel like I did the same thing. I do that sometimes. I go back and try and watch all these shows that I watched. I mean, you know, in that era, it was like TGIF, and it was like
Family Matters.
That's the time. Down.
I love TGIF. I used to look forward to TGIF. Full House, Family Matters,
Step by Step,
Perfect Strangers was in it.
Yeah, do you remember when you used to care about TV? Remember that? When you would be like, oh, snap, don't talk to me. It's Thursday night. Seinfeld's on.
Because you couldn't pause it. You couldn't, you know.
You couldn't pause it. Yeah.
Couldn't pause it.
See, Amazon, that was when we showed up. Amazon. Now you wait for me, Amazon.
Yes.
I don't wait for you.
God bless Bob Vila, Maddie said. Yeah, Boy Meets World was on TGIF too. That was
Boy Meets World.
Of course you love that.
Yeah, that was on later.
Was that the one with Topanga?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
I had such a crush on Topanga when I was little.
Every
Everyone
goddamn
did.
American
Everyone
boy
did.
with red blood flowing through their veins.
I've never been into women, and I had a crush on Topanga. She was beautiful, and her hair was just...
She still is, too.
Who's the only character I remember?
Right,
Topanga. Exactly. I don't know anybody else but Topanga. What's she doing nowadays?
Fred Savage. I follow
Mr.
her on the
Feeney?
TikTok.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. It's not entertaining, but...
I was like, isn't she at least our age?
Yeah, she's 40.
Right.
Easy.
So, I don't know about 40-year-olds. When I think of TikTok, I think of all the kids doing,
So the first...
you know, and it's not my shit. So, anytime I hear anyone in my age group with TikTok, and I'm like, oh God, Jesus, don't, you know.
I guess I won't share my handle
all.
then.
Yeah, I don't. It's a fad that has passed me by too. I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. Yeah.
Then you don't deserve to see my WAP challenge.
Ooh.
Okay. I'll just have to wait. I'll just have to wait until it's on, CNN.
CNN?
Mhm.
Me doing the WAP challenge?
Yeah.
Topanga had, Maggie says in chat and Facebook that Topanga had the best hair. I used to have Topanga hair. I did.
Yeah, Billy, I love
Topanga?
you so much, dude. But no,
I had
it was
Topanga
never
hair.
quite like hers. No.
I had Topanga hair.
Okay,
I met you
then
with long hair. You did not have Topanga hair.
No, that was Hulk Hogan hair. Earlier in my early 20s, 1920, I used to have this
1920.
19 or 20. I had this beautiful long hair that was Topanga hair. Like, it was fluffy. It was beautiful. It was full.
I used to pick up those flappers.
it would shine. It was beautiful.
We'll let you dream. We'll let you dream.
Then it just fell out, like, just as quick as it became beautiful. Fuck. I have to go get my head shaved tomorrow, because it's been a while. And that old... I turned 41 years old tomorrow, and it's going back so far. So far.
Happy early birthday.
Happy birthday tomorrow. What are
I'm sorry.
you what are you going to do to celebrate yourself? Are you stay in a bubble bath from 8 a.m. until 10 o'clock p.m. like I would do?
No, I'm going to sleep in the morning, and then I'm going to play with my kids a little bit and hang out with my family a little bit. But I'm also going to be back here playing a lot of video games.
Mm-hmm,
like a lot. Mm-hmm. Like a lot. So.
If you do it in a bubble bath, I advise you to just try to keep your gamer supplies dry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No bubble baths.
Oh.
No bubble baths. I wrinkle too fast.
Oh.
I wrinkle too fast. My skin's too sensitive, and the water here has way too much iron in it. Is what it is.
That's true.
But yeah, I gotta go get my head shaved tomorrow.
It is pouring rain.
Pattern is like
speaking of rain,
rings on the tree.
I'm sorry. What did both of you say?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Amy.
Oh, I like to think of your balding as like rings on a tree, and that's why every year you feel like you've lost a little bit more. It's just
you saying that.
How we count.
You saying that to me isn't as offensive as if anybody else in the world would have said that to me.
Hey, now I would never say that if you hadn't brought it up in the first place.
I know.
And just think, like, when you think about like a big old oak tree and like the rings, it's really like it's almost like it measures the wiseness of the tree.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh. And that carries all this moss that has this nasty ass lice hanging out of it. I appreciate that. No, I mean, it's cool. I'm old, man. That's what it is.
Easy.
Well,
I consider this spry.
Yeah.
That's what I consider this a.
Oh, I mean, I kind of
spry AF.
Yeah, but you've taken way better care of yourself than I have. Like,
okay. Do you know what I just ate was a sandwich? So I feel like
you realize I ate those once or twice a day, every day for 15 years.
But is it the Neapolitan kinds? Ice cream.
Oh, ice cream sandwich. Oh,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like I don't. Oh my God, I used to live off of hot dogs for at least a year. Like I ate nothing but hot dogs. Breakfast, lunch. I didn't even eat breakfast. Lunch, dinner, hot dogs. That was it. Because that's all I cared about. I was like, man, I mean, eat this food so
Can't
I
get
can go
enough
out and have a
either.
good time.
How many years of your life do you think those hot dogs shaved off?
I mean, since we're just talking about the hot dogs, but I can tell you that was just not even the surface. But I would say maybe 20 hours. 20 hours. Because let's be real about it. I mean, they're not going to destroy you, but...
Okay, so yeah, it's all right.
That's 20 hours.
Hey, Amy, who's that angel disguised as a fur coat running around next to you? Who is that?
Wait, do you mean this blanket behind
No,
me?
that little sweet little face that I saw.
Aww.
He was just like freaking out like something was on the couch and nothing is on the couch. But he was like... So every time I'm looking down, it's because he's acting like a maniac. This is Leo.
Is he a puppy? He looks really young.
He is a puppy. I got him from Brunswick County shelter, and they told me he was 3. I got him July 10th.
Oh my god.
And then I brought him home, and then I took him to a vet of my choosing, just for a little checkup. And he is 1 year old, not 3.
Wow.
But he's a very good boy. Yeah, he actually has helped maintain my sanity for the second half of working from home.
I understand. Yeah.
No, he's been a really good addition. He's a really good boy.
Oh, he's a sweet
He's so
boy. When you said he was 3, I was like, man, he's way younger than that. So I feel like I'm some sort of a dog age guessing.
No.
I should take this show on the road and just go around and guess dog ages, because I was like, there's no way that dog is older than a year.
You were right on the money. He is the first dog that I've ever had on my own, and I don't know a whole lot about dogs other than my friends' dogs. And so they told me 3, and I was like, okay, I guess. Like, I didn't really question it. But then the vet, like, I took him in, and the vet, like, just looked at his teeth. His teeth were
They're
really,
so
really
white. I could see.
yeah. And they were like, no, that's hilarious. But so it wasn't a bad experience adopting him, but they definitely like left out a lot of information and yeah. But I love that
criminal records and such.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. They just really, they made it seem like he was a 3-year-old dog that they found in a field, and they also like guessed his breed all wrong, and like none of it really matters because I took him to the vet and he's healthy, and that's all I give a shit about. But it's been amusing to find things out about him and witness his puppyhood, because he's not 3. He is a puppy. He's very funny.
Next year, you're going to learn that he's actually like a
cat,
mountain lion or something. Like
Yeah.
he's been wrong. Like he's just a whole different creature. No, he's so
a con
cute.
man that has 14 ex-wives.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Actually, I could see him doing that. He's quite charming.
exactly.
Excuse me a moment.
I'd marry him right now and give him half my money.
That's how they got you. You know, they like they do shit like this.
That he's sweet
No, he was
though.
But yeah, it's been pretty funny. He's a sweet boy. That's all I can say. I just repeat that over and over again. He's a sweet boy.
He's a sweet boy. Yeah, I mean, I totally get it when it's your very own precious little dog, just the two of you. That's a great relationship.
It's been good. I kind of wish I knew more about his background, obviously, but I feel like we bonded right away. I feel like I saw him and I was like, your tongue is stupid. Like, I saw his dumb face and I was like, I like you because you look like an idiot. And I mean that with all the love in my heart. But then I brought him home and it was like an immediate, he's like, oh, I live here now? Cool. Tight.
Gotcha, lady. This is my house now.
preteen boy who's like, "Oh, you're nice to me and you give me food. All right."
You look at him like he's sweet. I look at him like he's about to bite the doorknob off. Like he looks like there's something there. Like, nah.
Well, that's nice for a woman to have. That's a nice
thing. No, it's awesome.
That's the thing about the bonding that I appreciate, is because he is very protective. I noticed at first, like when I started walking him through the neighborhood, that he is immediately suspicious of white dudes in particular. And I was able to make the comparison. I have a neighbor around the corner, black guy, sits outside all day long, and he ran right up to him. He was like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" And then, but like my bosses, like people who I'm very close to, he's not having it. Like I've been friends with both of my bosses for at least 10 years, and I brought him down there, and he like flipped out, and I had to actually calm him down. So that's been very interesting to see, and that's what makes me curious about his past. You know,
doesn't trust the man.
Smart guy, right?
Does not trust the man.
How does he get along with Charlie?
So that took a minute too. That's what I mean. It's like, you know, even Charlie would come around. So my apartment is under my friend's house. Basically, it's a converted garage, and it's a couple who I have been very close friends with. I officiated their wedding, and he loved Kelly immediately. And Charlie is this like warm, loving guy, but he was like freaked out by him even. So he just doesn't like the white man.
Hey, I mean, who does, really?
I do.
I mean, when you think about it, it's all their fault. Everything.
I mean, equal opportunity in that regard, but I get it.
A lot of all the white.
You and me, brother.
Yeah, man.
Get him.
It's all the white man's fault.
Oh my gosh, it is pouring rain. Like
did you just hear that thunder?
How loud it is.
Did you just hear that thunder here?
Is my house being pelted by rain. That's all I can
hear.
I
got a baby crying in there. It's okay. I am giving the night off, which is nice. It's so nice. I need ideas, because I need to do something like over the moon for my partner. Like grandest gesture, not jester. I need
maybe a jester.
Maybe a jester.
Hire a jester.
Dress up like a clown.
I don't know if she's into that. Oh wait, I already look like one. Yeah, I already look like a poorly animated drawn character. I know I need to do something, man. Like she's been holding down with like all the kids being home and Tilly and Herbie, and she had to be home this week. And like I get out at the end of the day and I look at her, and it's like she still looks amazing, but she gives me this look that she's supposed to look like she just went through battle. And she came out the other side. Like I should be walking up to her like, oh my gosh, you're home. Like somebody that would come back from deployment. Like I should be that proud. And I tell her that, but she's awesome. But I need to do something amazing for her.
I mean, if you had someone to hang with Tilly,
I do.
Would you be able to set something up? You know, like just even, I mean,
yeah.
Maybe I might get like a simple dinner, I think goes a long way.
Yeah, it does.
A kid-free dinner where you guys get to spend time together. So I volunteer as tribute to hang out with Tilly.
Oh, don't worry, that day's coming.
Like
that day is coming.
Yeah.
It is. No, we used to.
Also, I haven't seen you guys in so long. So.
Yeah. Oh, the boys would love to see you too. They're going to be here for 8 weeks, starting Monday. Their dad's got to go out of town. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Well, let me know if you guys need a break for a minute.
Yeah, well,
in general,
Grandma and Grandpa are right there in Leland too, and they'll come over. Now, if it's going to be something like 2 hours or something, because I don't want them to be like 4 hours and it's 10 o'clock at night and they're driving home at that age. Not that they couldn't do it, but still, it's respectful.
But I get that.
But if it's something where I'm like, oh, we should go see a movie. Once we can get back to normal life and go to a restaurant and see a movie, like neither one of us want to chance that right now. We're like, oh no, we're not doing that.
I would love to chance it. I wrote such a letter to Governor Cooper. Man, I would love to chance it. God damn it. I would give anything to be a free American. So yeah.
You know what's funny? I think that going to a movie theater was really the first thing that I really started missing. Mm-hmm. And Marco and Billy know that like my routine after work was like we'd all get off work and go to the bar. Like that was we would get off Friday and Saturday and go have a beer before I went home. But that's not the thing that I miss most. It's going to a movie theater by myself. Like that was my shit, is like solo dates at a theater watching whatever I wanted to watch, be it some shitty romantic comedy or the newest James Bond. But like, yeah, that's what I really miss.
Yeah, me too. Dave DeMiro has a really good idea. He says that give her a night off with friends. When she comes home, kids to bed, you're naked in the counter or on the counter. Typo. But I think he's right. I mean, like, that's the thing is like everybody's just trying. I think that's why we haven't gone out. It's because.
But Dave, by the way, Dave, I miss you very much. But we're trying to do something nice for Robin. Right?
She would love it. She'd be like, "What's up? How you doing?"
That's what she would say. She's so sweet and nice. That's what she would tell you.
I know.
And say.
I know.
But she'd be thinking the opposite.
That's all I've been looking for is just somebody to tell me what I want to hear.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Billy. Billy, what's your highly esteemed partner's love language? How does she understand and accept love?
100% quality time.
Okay, so you have to make sure all that stuff is done and you're not doing it during that quality time. Because it's like the act of the service of like cleaning the house, car.
See, that's
like
me. That's what I like to do.
Because acts of service, totally. So you have to make sure that you get to express your love by doing all of those things, but then you have to do it in advance. So it seems like Magical's Fairies did it. So she gets her quality time, and then you both get to experience the act of giving and receiving love.
So I thought you meant at the beginning when you said doing it sex. So when you were just like, I thought the whole time you were like, you got to get the sex out of the way and then spend quality time. I'm like, yeah, I see what you're saying. That's cool. And then you started saying, and then have all that stuff done. And I'm like, I mean, how's that helping her? It's be fun for me to sit at home by myself and
quickly do it.
That's really good.
No, acts of service.
Right. No, get all the cleaning done and all that. I do. And I have been so lazy the past like 2 or 3 months. Like, and so here's I'm gonna put out my side of things, and then I'm gonna tell you exactly how it is for her, and it's raw truth. I'm like, man, first year, just over a year of being a dad and a stepdad, tired all the time. My work, it's all the time. It stresses me out. All I want to do when I get off is just have a second. And, like, I don't sleep that well, but I sleep. I have to wake up at like 6:45, 7 in the morning. Like, it's just, it's a lot to get used to. Now, here's Robin's side. She's up half the night with the baby. and has been for like a year and a half. I've offered to let her to wake me up, but she doesn't. She just, because the baby wants to feed, and there's not much I can do about that one. Then she goes to work, where she absolutely loves her job working with toddlers and does a great job with it. So there's like 10 to 13 toddlers all day screaming. I deal with one, and that's a lot. Like, this is that. And then she comes home and then does whatever she needs to do, never stops with the baby constantly, and then goes to school one night a week, and then has other things to do tonight a week. So by like 9:30, she's winding down, and then boom, the baby cries and ready to eat again. And that's what she's done for a year and a half. So I have absolutely no reason to complain about anything at all. Like, I have no reason to do that. So I think besides the act of service, doing something very nice, I think that would do good. Go out and do something. And like Dave said, send her out with her friends. She's not really a drinker at all, so I know she'll come back and remember me naked on the counter, which I don't know if that's the good thing or the bad thing for her. Now, if she was to come home and not remember me naked on the counter, I would have already done it. But she's going to come home and see it, and it's going to be burned in the back of her mind forever. Because I would have to have some sort of dip and vegetable around, too. Just for looks.
For yourself? What's the vegetable dip for?
I'm all about presentation. I'm all about presentation. It would add some color.
So the dip would be...
No, it would just be on a bowl. Vegetables, different, because I'm so pale. I want some colored correctness in the image that she would have. So
some
I just
whiter stuff in front of you.
Some like more like greens, oranges. Yeah.
What kind of dip? What?
Talking about the vegetables, like carrots.
Oh.
I mean, I got nothing. I meant to just ask that real quick, and I completely forgot that we were live when I did, and then we went on this tirade, and now we're here. So,
well, you lost me when you mentioned 13 toddler. My mind went whoop. Yeah. And now I'm back.
Yo, I don't know how she does it, man. I don't know how she does it, but she does, and she loves it. I get pictures every day of my daughter learning with all these kids and eating mulch, and she does it. It's pretty amazing, if you ask me. And here I am, like, oh man, I had a rough day. Some old lady called me a dick fart. Like, it's not even. It's not even comparable, really. But anyway, yeah, I really only meant to like ask that question, and I realized that yeah, my daughter eats mulch.
We had a therapy session.
We had a therapy session. Now I feel better, and I
cool.
I appreciate you guys for that. We went a few minutes over, and but that's cool because it was fun, and I appreciate all of you. And,
I just hit my funny bone.
Oh, that's not funny at all. Have you ever hit your funny bone so hard you peed on yourself?
It's fine. No, worst part's over. No, I have never peed on myself.
I have. You've never peed on yourself, period?
I mean, I'm trying to
Ain't
think
nobody
of a time.
that perfect.
Certainly never because of my funny bone.
Oh, I have. I've like double funny boned myself coming off a tour bus once, and it hurt so bad, and I was like laughing and crying that I peed all over myself. And it was in front of like everybody that was trying to do the VIP meet and greet for the band I was working for. So I'm going out there going, hey guys, I'm Billy, I'm about to take you home. And I've been Sepp, I went out there, I was like, oh God, oh no, oh God, no. And they're all looking at me like, what the fuck?
God, that seems like a kung fu move. If it will pee, if you could just do that, if you could just effect that, I want to make people pee.
Mm-hmm.
From behind.
Yeah. Okay. All
Double
right.
Vulcan grip, fart, poop, pee, pass out. On that note.
On that note.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
That order.
Nighty night. Nice to see you, Amy.
Bye.
Bye.